This camera angle may be potentially making you lose. You might be thinking, what on earth are you talking about? Let me explain to you. Now have a look at this example. I want to show you how a camera angle can basically change the way you defend and where you shoot. That's me with the co-op camera angle. Now with a different camera angle, I'm going to show, I'm going to aim the exact aiming, and you can see now the ball goes far away. Now, why is that? How can a camera angle determine it? Because it affects everything. It affects your defending, it affects where you're aiming, it affects everything. I'll show you what I mean, because a lot of people don't actually know this. But let's say end to end. You see, wherever I'm aiming my left, see now I've got to aim, for example, like I'm facing, like a top-down view. So if I want to aim towards, for example, the bottom left, have a look here. I've got to aim towards the bottom left. I have to aim like, as you can see, I'm aiming my left analog stick at like 11 o'clock. But now I change back to co-op, and you can see if I aim at 11 o'clock, the ball's going to go completely different angle. So I need to now aim at like 4 o'clock for it to go in. Otherwise, as you can see, it messes up with your aiming. So going back to what I mentioned, because the co-op camera angle is a different angle, you can see just small minute differences of the white line. You see that small alteration affects how you run back, how you defend, where you move your player, and where you aim your shot. So in my opinion, although this is a nice immersive feeling, definitely turn the Ultimate Team camera angle off. I would probably recommend go with what camera you used to last year, but realistically, the best camera angle in the game is co-op. And what you want to do is you want to go with a custom height of 0 zoom and 20. So 0 zoom lets you see more everything. It lets you see everything of the pitch. The height of 20 is a more top-down view. This would be the best way to aim your shots and defend. In fact, because you're naturally vertically looking and the camera doesn't sway, it's actually easy for you to adapt precision shooting and defend with a co-op camera angle. So if you're using broadcast, I'll show you another example. Let's say dynamic. You see how dynamic is slanted a bit that way? You see that? If I then look at pro, is slanted. If you look at broadcast, is this way. So every camera angle, legacy is that way. So every camera angle, tactical is like this, and you're further away. So every camera angle affects your left analog stick for dribbling, for defending, for attacking, for aiming your shot, for everything, for passing, everything. So that is why the camera angle is actually very important. Now, I would recommend co-op for all of them. For rush, I recommend rush tactical. For the power shot zoom, turn this off, because what this is when someone does a power shot, sometimes the camera zooms in. You don't want that. You want to see everyone on the pitch. That way, if you win the ball and turnover play, you can see who to pass to on a counter attack. If you want to see a comparison of the co-op camera on why it's so meta, check out last year's video, or you can check out my Patreon video where I compare every single camera angle and I show you the advantage of using, for example, certain angles like the co-op camera angle. Here's a quick example I wanted to show you. This is the tele broadcast camera angle. See, if you want to pass the this player over here, you need to see where your opponent's center mids are. You can see this with a co-op camera angle, okay? If we don't use another camera angle like a more popular one like tele broadcast, you can see the player is not visible, so you don't know how far these players are. Whereas in co-op, you can see them, and in tele broadcast, you can't. And you can also, if you look, you can't even see your left back. You see on the radar? So a lot of the top tier pro players use a tele broadcast camera because they are looking at the radar all the time. Now for the zoom, all you do is, if you're sitting down next to your chair, and let's say you're playing where you normally play, stretch out your hand, okay? If you can touch your monitor like I can, 0 zoom is fine on a 24 or 27 inch monitor. If you got, for example, if you're like sitting in like a massive room and your TV is really far away, you may need to zoom in all the way. This zoom will just, the height would always stay 20. That way you can see the best perception and you can see the distance between players. But the zoom will depend on how far you sit from your TV and what's your TV size. Definitely check out my Patreon video on adjusting stuff for your TV size. The camera swing is the one thing you can alter now. The big misconception people ask me, I can't believe I have to always talk about this, absolute nonsense. People say the game feels slow with a co-op camera angle. Okay, if I do this, it looks fast. If I do this, it looks slow. I can't believe I have to explain this, but it's perception. Obviously, when the camera zoomed out, the camera angle is barely moving. If it's zoomed in, you're moving all the time to catch up with the ball. So the co-op camera angle, in my opinion, is the best. People always say tele broadcast, and to be honest, if you use tele broadcast your entire life, in my opinion, don't change. I would probably recommend it if you're like below elite, but if you're an elite player plus using tele broadcast, keep it, because a lot of pro players use tele broadcast and they look at the radar. But a lot of pros now are actually moving more and more towards co-op. People used to laugh at me when I say co-op. They're not laughing now when everyone else is using it. Then for the visual, look, I leave everything like this. Input overlay, if you want the controller on, you can turn this on to single. That way you can see what buttons you're pressing. Very, very important for analyzing your gameplay. One thing that's very important here, a lot of this is kind of dependent. One thing that I would actually recommend here is put this on player name, not player number. That way, if Mbappe's got the ball, you know Mbappe's got it. I leave this on large as opposed to small. Just a bit easier to see a neck switch indicator. Teammate indicator, leave this on so you know who your teammate indicating with. This caused delay last year, but for now it doesn't. So I'm leaving it on. That way you know what players got what play styles. And then this is the most important thing. Celebrations, camera focused, keep it on user control team, okay? Because if your opponent starts doing some toxic celebration, you won't see it. It's better to get more wins, and psychologically speaking, you know how important it is to be maintained. Have composure and not get psychologically altered. Don't let emotions alter your decision. Trust me, if you want more wins, go like this, okay? Now, what I would say here is the only thing I would probably say over here is, I'm going to scroll all the way down, player shadows, turn it off, okay? I don't know why this is even on by default, but this should be off. You know, sometimes you go in those pictures, those rugby pictures, you've got stupid shadows covering the entire gameplay. Turn this off. Same with stadium shadows. Do you know how annoying it is for half the sim to have like a massive shadow line in between it? I love it. It's distractions. Turn it off. Camera shake visuals, I'll be honest, I'm turning it off. And POV cutscenes, if you want like that, you know, the referee cutscenes, nothing really, doesn't affect gameplay. And that is basically it. One of my favorite features this year is a high contrast mode. So what it is you can customize your high. So let's say you have a kit clash, okay? So you can adjust the density or saturation, should I say, of the pitch. And then, for example, you can change, for example, let's say you have a kit clash. So what I normally do is something like this. I go like this. I put my opponent's team in black and I put like this. And now, for example, and I put the ball on yellow. Where is it? So now if I've got a kit clash and then normally the referee on default, or you can leave them on like this. Now I can clearly see everyone in my team because I know all my players are white. You can choose whatever color you want. You can make it red. Maybe you can make your opponent blue if you like the striking colors. So this is actually one of the most underrated features inside the game. If you have issues with like seeing kits and stuff like that, or you got maybe you might be colorblind or you have any of that, this is actually a game-changing feature. And then you have the rest of the other stuff is not really that important, to be honest. Audio, and if you're streaming, turn this on. That way you don't get a copyright strike. And if you want, you can adjust the commentary language and everything here. This is not important. Same with rules. This doesn't really affect online. It's for offline gameplay. And then you got high contrast mode again, player shadows, and a few other stuff. Now, graphics mode should always be favor resolution for the best FPS, smoothest gameplay per se. I'm only leaving it on enhanced visuals. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to put them. I did it just to record video, just to make things look nicer, but you should be using favored resolution, okay? That is all the game settings. If you want to, well, controller settings. If you want to see the controller settings that I'm using right now, I'm using assisted, going back to assisted, but you should be using precision. But I made a video on this one, explained everything in detail, but that is all my settings if you want to go ahead and copy those. If you enjoy this video, make sure you subscribe for more content like this, of course. And if you're watching to the end, don't forget, if you want to get better FC, you can come join my structured Patreon series, patreon.com/nilguides, or you can click on the link down below in the description, a pinned comment. And we've already uploaded videos. I don't know how on earth in the last 24 hours we've uploaded so many videos on every channel. Thanks to my team, honestly. That them will be impossible, honestly. But we've got the new shot types for 8 ways of scoring, dribbling changes. We've also got a few new videos that are going to be here. So by the time I'm watching this video on the 19th, it's probably going to be updated by tomorrow. Then we also have all the squad builders. So we created the Premier League cheap teams, mid teams, and expensive teams. The Bundesliga cheap, mid, Serie A cheap, mid, expensive. Progressive squad builders. We've also got the minimum stats requirements for every single position. Don't use any 60-page players. And of course, last year's videos. Now you might be thinking, Neil, why would I watch last year's videos? First of all, these videos are very long, so you probably can't even finish them all in one day anyway. But the theory of it never changes. We explain to you why something works. Even this, I'll tell you, look, if you're watching this right now, FC26, you're strong with defending, I promise you, if you watch these 6 videos, you do it slowly, you implement exactly what I tell you, I promise you within the space of a day, you'll dramatically improve your defense. This video, this video, this video, this video, this video, this video. 5 videos. If you don't improve, I'll refund your money. That is the Nil Guides guarantee. But look, that is everything. Patreon.com. Do you know what? I'll leave the link down below in the description, in the pinned comment section. In fact, in the checkout, enter the code controller for a 10% discount. Anyway, look, I want to go. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'll catch you in tomorrow's video. It's now 2 a.m. Actually, I'll catch you in 6 hours video, a squad builder. Catch you. See you then. Peace.